Hello again, everybody, and welcome for Great West Conference basketball this afternoon. James Warnick here alongside Matt Peterson as the Utah Valley Wolverines are at home here at the UCCU Center in Orem, taking on the Chicago State Cougars. It should be a good one on tap as the Wolverines are in second place in the conference standings with a 3-2 conference mark. They're 11-11 overall, and Chicago State is in third place in the conference standings at a 3-3 record, and overall they're 5-19, but it should be a good one here today.
Yeah, we're expecting a good game, and we should definitely get that. As we've talked about the second and third best teams in the conference here, it's always important when you have home conference games that you play well, and that's going to be an important factor for the Wolverines tonight. For Chicago State, they're going to want to get that conference win on the road.
Yeah, both teams are coming off of a loss, so they're both hungry for a victory here this afternoon, but they'll be definitely doing everything they can to get the win. We'll now go over the key matchups this afternoon.
We like taking a look at these to see what players have an impact on the game. For the Wolverines, we've got Sammie Jensen. She's a junior forward, averages 14.5 points per game and also double-digit rebounds per game. Whitney Jenkins, a sophomore guard, averaging 6 points per game, She's been playing very well the last few games in conference. So those two players for the Wolverines are going to have an important impact on tonight's game. Taking a look at Chicago State, we've got Jenna Johnson, a senior guard, leads them in scoring 18.4 points per game, and Natalie Marlowe, another senior player at the guard position. She had 9 assists in the last game. So look for those two players to complement each other in this game, and also to be key players that we're going to have to keep our eye on the entire game. Jenna
Johnson had a monster game when these two clubs met up in Chicago a couple weeks ago. She had 26 points to lead all scores as Chicago State cruised to a 27-point win. So today the Wolverines will be definitely looking for a little bit of revenge. We'll now look into the keys to the game here, and Matt, maybe you could help us out with these as well.
Yeah, and we've got similar keys for both teams. Both teams are going to have to do a good job of attacking the basket. That's what Chicago State's going to do with their guard play. The Wolverines are going to have that as well. You can't make it a perimeter game. Pressuring the guards, we just talked about for both teams the guard play that we can expect. So defensively, both teams are going to have to be able to put pressure on the opponent's guard players, and both teams need to do a good job of creating turnovers. That can lead out to easy points, and more possessions is always better.
Yeah, definitely, and that's something the Wolverines have been struggling with, is turnovers, so they'll be trying to cut that down here this afternoon as well. But it should be a good one. The Wolverines currently in second place in the conference standings, Chicago State in third, so both teams kind of a pivotal game here midway through the season, the conference season, to see who will kind of keep things going up and who will drop down a little bit. Well, we'll step aside, take a break, and we'll have more with the Costa Vida pregame show here in a minute as you're watching the UVU Sports Network.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
I'm Patty Garcia, a geology student at UVU, and this is Engaged Learning. At UVU, I'm learning by doing.
Matt Peterson with you, getting you ready as the Wolverines are taking on Chicago State this afternoon. Starting lineups here for the visiting Cougars of Chicago State. Jackie Jones, a 5'5" freshman, will be at the point guard. Also in the backcourt, Jenna Johnson, the second leading scorer in the conference, who we highlighted earlier on in the pregame show, averaging 18.4 points per contest. 5'9" senior from Detroit, Michigan. Natalie Marlowe, 5'10" senior from South Milwaukee, Wisconsin, will get the start. Chanel Wilson-Stewart will be in the middle, and Paris Williams will also start for Utah Valley. Starting for the Wolverines at the guard spot, Abby Butler, 5'5" senior from Dayton, Idaho. Also at guard, Whitney Jenkins, who's been playing very well in the conference season, averaging 8.5 points in conference-only games. will get the start. Alle Finch, 5'11" junior from Riverton, Utah, will be at the small forward spot. Sammie Jensen, who we really highlighted, that everything seems to go through her. If for the Wolverines to be successful, they're 9-3 when she's had a double-double. She'll start at power forward, and in the middle for Utah Valley is Erica Newbold, the 6' junior from South Jordan. The official at midcourt. Here's the tip, and we're underway. Chicago State controls it, and the Cougars have the first possession of the ball game. With the basketball, Jackie Jones. Jones to Marlowe. Now back to Jones. They're looking inside. Can't find Wilson Stewart outside. Here's a three-pointer from Wilson. Is up as a 2. I apologize. Her foot was on the line, but there's the first basket of the ball game. Cougars on top 2-0.
Nice three-point shot there. You're going to see a zone defense here. It looks like more like a 1-3-1 defense for Chicago State. See how the Wolverines attack that.
Three-pointer no good from Abby Butler, and the Cougars get the rebound. Jackie Jones down court for Chicago State. Close to a turnover there, and a nice job by Janae Dockery to hold on to it. Dockery will back it out now near midcourt. Hand it back to Jones. Cougars look to get into their offense. On the baseline, Paris Williams backs up. Fadeaway jumper, no good, and the Wolverines come away with it. Outlet pass down court to Finch. Finch finds Jensen, now to Jenkins. Jenkins spots up, three-pointer from the wing, won't go. Rebound up and in, nice putback by Sammie Jensen as she ties the game at 2 all.
Yeah, anytime you play that zone defense, you're going to have the opportunity to get some offensive rebounds there. And for Chicago State, they gave up the offensive rebound there to Sammie Jensen. A nice putback there. That may be an opportunity for the Wolverines this game, is to get out in transition and on any long shots that they may have, get those offensive rebounds.
Nice deflection there by Alle Finch. It's off of the Wolverines, and the Cougars will keep it. Up top, the freshman Jackie Jones. Shows it to Dockery. She'll drive baseline, puts it up. Looks like it's blocked, and the Wolverines come away with it. Nice defense there as Newbold comes away with the rebound. Utah Valley looking down low. They've got Jensen wide open, puts it up and in. Nice job of Sammie down low, scores 2, and the Wolverines lead 4-2.
Yeah, kind of a high-low action there. A nice pass from Erica Newbold from right out top. Look for that type of offense, that high-low, whether it be Sammie passing in or whether it's Erica passing in against the zone defense.
Jones with the basketball. Chicago State down by a basket. We're early on here. Just played over 2 minutes so far at the UCCU Center. Ball deflected, and the Wolverines come away with it as Sammie Jensen picks it up. But Dockery, look at Dockery, picks it right back and takes it back for the Cougars.
Yeah, one of those keys of the game that we talked about was creating turnovers. Well, that was an opportunity there. The Wolverines had to get out and run, but a turnover created, but they get it right back.
So a couple back and forth turnovers. Here's an outlet pass down court. Jensen up and in. Beautiful assist from Whitney Jenkins as she finds Jensen. The Wolverines lead 6-2.
Yeah, good job there off of the turnover by Sammie Jensen running out in transition. It's not often that you see a post player, the first one down in a transition offense, but she was able to beat the defense back and got rewarded with an easy layup.
Dockery loses control of it. Jenkins picks it up off to the races. Fast break, bucket up and in. And a timeout's called by head coach Angela Jackson of Chicago State. And she'll want to talk things over as the Wolverines have opened up an 8-2 lead with 16:54 to go. Well, it's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep this one here with you. But man, it looks like the Wolverines are doing a nice job on the fast break here, converting those turnovers into baskets.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, they get those turnovers and they're able to get out and run, and you see the nice finish there. No contest on the layup for Whitney Jenkins there. But I think it's been their defense that's keyed them. I mean, they've had a quick block here and there to start off the game. They've been able to force some turnovers, and that just gives them that offense to get out and run. And commend the Wolverines for their defensive effort so far.
Wolverines up 8-2. Chicago State called the timeout as Cougars actually started with the basket. So the Wolverines right now have scored 8 unanswered points. Chicago State with the basketball. These two teams are second and third in the conference standings currently in the Great West Conference. Wolverines at 3-2 are in second. Chicago State at 3-3 are in third. Jackie Jones drives, puts a layup up, rolls around and goes home. Nice job by Jones as she scores the basket.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an area that the Wolverines we're going to have to focus on, or they're going to have to focus on, is allowing those penetrations from outside and from the perimeter.
Three-pointer off the mark by Jenkins, but Finch is right there to put the air ball up and in. A nice break for the Wolverines. They now lead 10-4.
Yeah, you're going to have those corner shots with the 1-3-1 defense. A nice shot there from Whitney Jenkins. I think she's going to have that shot if Chicago State continues to play that defense. And once again, that offensive rebound on a corner three.
Jones puts the shot attempt up, won't go. We've got a foul called. Foul's going to go on Sammie Jensen, or I apologize, that is on Chicago State on the rebound attempt. A foul will go on Liz Kumrell, but we'll step aside, take a break. Media timeout, 15:58 to go. Wolverines on top, 10-4.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Back out of the timeout. Wolverines on top of Chicago State here at the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah, 10-4. That one thing I'm noticing here on the stat sheet, Utah Valley scored all 10 of their points in the paint so far. And I'm sure that's something head coach Cathy Nixon is very pleased about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you always like those easy baskets or the baskets that you get closer to the rim. They've shot the ball well, 5 of 8, and it's because all those shots are coming, all their scores are coming right inside. See this defense that Chicago State's going to be playing. It looks like they may have switched up a little bit to a 2-3 zone, but as Erica gets the ball inside. But you know, the zone defense, whether it be the 1-3-1 or the 2-3, key for the Wolverines to just keep attacking. They're going to get good shots if they just take their time. They'll be able to get some good offense.
Wolverines held the possession here, so they keep the possession after the tie-up. Alle Finch has it. Pass over the top to Butler, looking for Mansfield, who's checked into the game, the junior from American Fork, Utah, but it's too tall for out of bounds, and it'll be a Wolverine turnover.
Yeah, you like the idea there because that was a good angle and what was open, because the post player was able to seal off the defender just a little bit too far of a pass. And you see the change here. The Wolverines had previously played a man defense. They've now themselves gone into a 2-3 zone.
Jackie Jones with the basketball. Got a 3-second violation called on Liz Kumrell. Kumrell, a junior from Turkey, transferred to Chicago State from Illinois Central College on the floor. She picked up a foul as we went to commercial break, and here called for the 3-second violation. So UVU will have it.
Yeah, and look where Kumrell plays in the zone defense. So she's the biggest player out there for Chicago State, and she's at the top of that 1-3-1 zone. So, you know, that maybe will explain why the Wolverines have been able to get some inside rebounds, because the biggest player is playing the perimeter.
Chicago State comes away with it as the Wolverines can't control the basketball. Jackie Jones with the ball, calling out the play. Double screen at the top, instead hands it back to Tiara Williams, who's on the floor. Tiara Williams will drive, pick up the dribble, hand it back to Kumrell. She'll work it back to Jones. Jones finds Kumrell, goes up with the layup attempt, no good, and Newbold comes away with it. Kumrell was kind of right under the basket there, couldn't get the shot to drop. Out of bounds, good hustle play by Jones, but the Wolverines will keep it. Substitutions, Janae Dockery back on the floor. And for Utah Valley, a couple starters, Sammie Jensen and Whitney Jenkins check back in as well.
Yeah, definitely got a quick break there on the sideline and get them back in the game. Chicago State once again in that 1-3-1. Look for them to pound that ball inside, work around the perimeter, eventually get it inside just on that possession.
Johnson finds Jenkins with a shot just off the mark, but Sammie will be headed to the line to shoot 2. Foul's called on Paris Williams of Chicago State. That's her first, second team foul on the Cougars.
Yeah, a little bit earlier there, Sammie did some nice work as far as sealing off the defender, and Jenna was able to pass it in. But when you get those defenders on the backside or in the bottom parts of the zone, you're going to have some opportunities to seal them off and just look to lob that ball over and toss the ball over the defender if the post player is able to seal, and that's exactly what happened on that possession.
Jasmine Collins checks in for Chicago State. Jensen nets the first free throw. She has 7 points early on. The second one's up, and that one's good. So Sammie has 8 quick points in this basketball game as the Wolverines lead 12-4 with 14:18 to go here in the first half. Janae Dockery handling the basketball for Chicago State. Chicago State actually won the Great West Conference last year, both the regular season and tournament champions, but this year kind of have lost a lot of players from last year, kind of a whole new squad. Dockery's one of those returners. She puts a three-point attempt up, won't go, but she is fouled. It'll be 3 free throws here for Janae Dockery as the foul's called on Whitney Jenkins.
Watching Janae Dockery work here early on, she's been very active on that possession. She came off some screens along the baseline, kind of worked her way around some other screens on the side, and just found her way, made her way to the three-point line. And she has a quick release as evidenced on that shot there. So whoever is chasing, whoever's guarding for the Wolverines is going to have to be aware that when she gets it, she's able to shoot it quickly, and can't be going into her on any type of a shot block attempt or any shot pressure. You got to make sure that you stay away from her body, as not to foul and get her to the line.
Paris Williams checks back in for Chicago State. Kumrell will take a seat. Dockery's hit 1 for 2. Here's the third free throw. That one's good. So she goes 2 of 3 from the stripe for the 81% free throw shooter on the season. Chicago State pulls back within 6. Wolverines work the basketball. Chicago State in that trapping zone, trying to cause a deflection or a steal. Wolverines working in the middle to Jensen. Down low, she finds Newbold. Newbold puts the shot up, rattles off. It's going to be a foul called. Angela Jackson, Chicago State's coach, wanted the travel call, but they're going to call a foul instead. It'll be 2 free throws for Erica Newbold.
Yeah, it looks like how the Wolverines are attacking this zone a little bit is they're trying to get that high-low action. There was once again a high-low pass. Earlier in the game we saw Erica pass the ball into Sammie. That time it was a reversal. Sammie was at the free throw line and she was able to dump it in to Erica. So, we're going to see a lot of that, I think, because the Wolverines seem to be trying to put a player at the free throw line, get them the ball, and let them create from there. And it's resulted in a lot of passes inside and baskets so far.
Newbold, pretty good free throw shooter at 71%. Hits both. Wolverines back on top by 8. Marlowe with the basketball drives, puts a shot up, won't go. Rebound, tip toward Fopper. Chicago State comes away with the Dockery's put back, won't go. And we've got a foul call as Tiara Williams tries to go up with it. Foul's going to go on Sammie Jensen. And she'll pick up her first personal. It's the second team foul on Utah Valley.
Yeah, I think the Wolverines would like to have that possession back. They gave up 2 or 3 offensive rebounds there and weren't able to come up with a great hustle there from Chicago State, on the offensive glass. But Wolverines are going to need to do a little bit better job blocking out and not allowing those offensive rebounds.
Wolverines sub in Sydney Mason and Callie Roach onto the floor. Second free throw no good by Tiara Williams, and Sammie Jensen grabs a rebound. Jensen averaging a double-double on the season. Good pressure applied to Mason. They're going to call a foul as Sydney was double teamed there, in trouble right next to mid-court line, close to going over for a backcourt violation, but a foul is called on on Paris Williams. There's 2 Williams for Chicago State, Tiara Williams and Paris Williams.
Yeah.
So that was Paris Williams who picks up the foul. She'll take a seat, and she has 2 personal fouls.
Yeah, and you got Paris Williams change, and we see number 33 now, Jasmine Collins out top, as we get a turnover there from Chicago State. See how this play.
Down court, a traveling violation called on Jasmine Collins, so she'll turn it right back over, and the Wolverines will get it back.
Yeah, I think the Wolverines need to be a little bit more careful when it comes to their passes, as we're going to see the pass ahead here. And a nice job there of recovery Whitney Jenkins causing the travel there. But Wolverines have to be a little bit more careful with their passes. They've got, the temptation is to float that ball up there. You got to make sure that you pass it, you don't float it up, and I think we're going to get another 3-second violation here.
3-second violation called on Callie Roach. We've seen two 3-second violations so far in the basketball game.
Well, Chicago State's done a nice job of getting in the passing lanes, and that was my point as far as the Wolverines need to be a little bit more sure of their passes, because Chicago State's a quick team, look to get in those passing lanes, as we saw in the last 2 possessions.
Tara Williams, nice move, but she couldn't finish. Sammie Jensen, top of the key, 3-pointers off the mark, and Chicago State will have the basketball.
Yeah, one other point, James. We've seen a couple players play the top of that zone. We've seen Jasmine Collins play. We've seen Elias Kumal and also Paris Williams play the top of that zone. Wolverines got to stay out of the corners, because Chicago State looks like they're trying to trap when they're when the Wolverines get that ball in the corners. They're trying to get those turnovers forced.
Nice jump shot there by Tiara Williams. Scores 2 points for Chicago State. Wolverines on top by 5. Down court, pass is stolen. Momentarily fight for it. Marlowe's on the floor. They've got a timeout called. Nice heads up call by Chicago State there, fighting for the loose ball. And Chicago State will have it. 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here. Matt, it looks like Chicago State starting to fight back a little bit here. The Wolverines jumped out to that early lead, but the Cougars kind of fighting back, giving a lot of effort right now.
Yeah, and I think turnovers have been a problem for the Wolverines. But you see on that last possession there, Cindy Mason is bringing the ball up, and the defenders were basically asking for her to bring that ball across half court. And what they were trying to do is, when she crosses, they're trying to come up and they're trying to pressure her and trap her. And that easy pass, like she saw there, was to the sideline. But a mistake was that it came over, got in the passing lane, and had tried to intercept. So Wolverines got to be aware that Chicago State's going to look to trap them when they're bringing that ball up, and they have to be sure of their passes, or else they'll get turnovers like they have.
Tiara Williams with the basketball, almost loses it to Dockery. Now to Collins, back to Williams. Her pass is stolen by Sammie Jensen. She's triple teamed, looking for Johnson down court. Johnson hits the deck, was tripped, but a no call. And here comes Marlowe back for Chicago State. In the lane, layup up and in. Nice drive by Kanika Davis as she scores 2. And Chicago State pulls within 3 here at 14-11. Coach Nixon for Utah Valley will call for time. 30-second timeout with 11:29 to go here. We'll keep this one here with you as well. But, man, we talked about it just moments ago, but it looks like Chicago State really looking much better right now.
Yeah, they fought their way back into the game, as you said, and on that possession, the Wolverines got a little bit, because Jenna Johnson was tripped up as she was going to the basket, created that opportunity for Chicago State to get out in transition. But yeah, Chicago State's done a nice job of fighting their way back into the ball game. They've done it. The Wolverines haven't had baskets inside, it seems, for a little bit. So, give all the credit in the world to Chicago State's defense for getting them back to where they are right now.
Wolverines have the basketball out of the called timeout. Next stoppage, we should have a media timeout coming up. Alle Finch handling the basketball for the Wolverines. Goes to Jensen, now back to Finch at the free throw line. Open, Jenna Johnson, spot up jump shot, good. Nice look from the senior Johnson as she drills the shot.
Yeah, great play coming out of the timeout there. It's just that extra pass. The Wolverines were able to spread the defense from Chicago State, get it to the weak side, and they had so much room, and Jenna Johnson with an easy baseline jump shot.
Marlowe to Tiara Williams. Cougars working the basketball. That's Davis. She's going to be called for a traveling violation as she picked up her feet, couldn't hold the pivot foot down. And that'll take us to a media timeout. Wolverines on top, 16-11 with 10:56. We'll step aside and take a break.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Well, welcome back here. Wolverines on top, 16-11. 10:56 to go here in the first half. Great West Conference women's basketball here this afternoon at the UCCU Center. Wolverines jumped out to their early lead. Chicago State cut it to 3, and now the Wolverines on top by 5. Utah Valley with the basketball. Abby Butler back on the floor handling the ball. Picks up her dribble, finds Finch. Finch on the far side, spots Jensen. A spot-up shot is good. Nice jump shot by Jensen. Moments ago, Johnson hit one before the break, so a couple good jump shots puts the Wolverines on top, 18-11.
Yeah, really nice pass, too. It was a diagonal pass in the zone. Those are always used to be, my favorite things to do when I played was pass the ball diagonally because it's so hard for the defense to recover.
Collins' shot was off the mark. Here's Utah Valley. Defender hits the floor. Over the top pass to Butler in the lane, goes to Newbold, shot won't go. Deflected, they'll say off of Chicago State, and the Wolverines will keep possession. New shot clock for Utah Valley. Nice look there by Erica Newbold, just couldn't get it to drop. Newbold had a big game. Wolverines last game, a 2-point loss to NJIT. Here's a three-pointer, Butler, nothing but net. Big shot by Butler. Wolverines stretch the advantage to 10.
Yeah, important shot for the Wolverines there because they were stuck on, they weren't able to get past the point mark that they had, but a nice shot there. Nice job of working the ball around and knocking down the jump shot.
Collins answers back with a 2-point jump shot for Chicago State, 21-13. Wolverines on top. Wolverines work the basketball. Jensen's pass is deflected, almost stolen by Dockery, but Janae knocks it out of bounds, and Utah Valley will keep it side out of bounds. Bueller in the lane to Newbold, puts the layup up, won't go, and Marlowe comes behind her for the rebound. Another good look by Newbold, couldn't get it to drop. Down court, pass deflected out of bounds off of Bueller. The Cougars will keep possession. Whitney Jenkins will substitute in for Jenna Johnson for the Wolverines. Also checking in for Chicago State is Jackie Jones, and she'll replace Tiara Williams. 9:28 to go in the first half. UVU on top, 21-13. Marlowe to inbound. Gets it up top to Collins. Hands it back to Jones, now to Dockery. Dockery's been pretty quiet here so far, leading scorer in the lane. She'll draw a foul and they'll head to the free throw line. Nice aggressive move there. As I say, she's been quiet. She takes it to the hole. The foul's called on Erica Newbold.
Yeah, it takes us back to our one of our keys to the game here as we see this aggressive driving to the basket, and you see the lane open up there for Lene Dockery, and she's able to drive to the basket. The Wolverines, when they put pressure on, or when they try and put that pressure on the perimeter players, you have to make sure that you don't get beat, because that just breaks down your defense. You force other players to recover and help out, and in that case, that was just a nice move, a quick move there by Janae Dockery, getting to the basket.
Second free throw is good. The Wolverines have it. Get it down court quickly. Outside jump shot up from Jenkins, and it's home. Nice job. That's a deep two. I wasn't sure if that was a 3 or a 2, but they spot it for a 2-point basket, and a big shot by Whitney.
Yeah, I think that's your ideal possession. You have it in the perimeter, you get it inside. It's not there inside, you get a quick pass out and a knockdown jump shot. So good ball movement there from the Wolverines. It didn't stick in one place. They were able to just move the ball around and were rewarded with the jump shot.
Chicago State turns the basketball over with an errant pass. The Wolverines have it. Wolverines looking to build or add to their lead here, up by 8 currently. In the corner, Sammie Jensen with it. Skip pass. Now they find Jenkins, wide open jump shot, up and in. Nice shooting by the Wolverines as they lead 25-15.
Yeah, once again, another nice long diagonal pass. And once you get it, don't hold it, swing it to the next, make that one additional pass, and a great jump shot from the corner.
Collins puts one up and in, back the other way for Chicago State. And She scores 2, cuts it back within 8. Butler, top of the key, thinks about the three-pointer. Set drops it low to Newbold. Shot won't go from Erica. Contact, no call. And here comes Tiara Williams with the basketball. Williams from right to left with the dribble. Stops at the free throw line. Hands it back to Jones. Now Collins. She'll put a shot up again. This one won't go. And Jenkins has the rebound for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I hear Coach for Chicago State right here in front of us talking about switching the defense, and on that possession they go to a 3-2 zone, so they switch it up a little bit.
Newbold's layup attempt won't drop, and Janae Dockery comes away with it for Chicago State. Janae Dockery with the belt-high right-handed dribble. Hands it off to Collins. Down the baseline, they work it to Jackie Jones. Contact call as Jones is trying to drive the baseline. And we've got a foul called. Foul's going to go on Abby Butler of Utah Valley. We'll step aside, take a break. We got a media timeout. 7:24 to go in the first half. The Wolverines on top of the Cougars, 25-17.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of becoming as an adult? A pilot? A teacher? A nurse? Maybe a mathematician, a mechanic, or a scientist. Now imagine a place where everyone is focused on your success. Imagine an education that is personal, engaging, fun, and professional. With an education from UVU, all of this becomes true. Utah Valley University. It's your dream. It's your university.
Well, welcome back out of the timeout. Showing a replay of that last foul that was called. Called the foul on Abby Butler there. A little bit of contact on the baseline. Wolverines on top, 25-17. Utah Valley shooting very well in the contest so far. Shooting 56% from the field. Chicago State shooting 40%. It'll be Chicago State basketball after the time, out of the timeout. Pass deflected by Abby Butler. Back out of bounds, and they'll have to inbound one more time. Get it into Dockery, but before we've got contact and a foul called. Foul called on Casey Mansfield. Her first personal 15 foul on Utah Valley. So here's the third time Chicago State will try to inbound from the baseline. Get into Dockery, she's immediately double teamed, has to back it out. Work the basketball to Tiara Williams. Now back to Janae Dockery. Dockery spin move, gets in the lane, puts it up, count it, and she's fouled. Beautiful drive move there by Dockery. The foul's going to go on Casey Mansfield. Picks up back-to-back personal fouls. Here's a nice replay of that drive there.
Yeah, really nice finish here too. And she got the ball on the perimeter, was patient, created her own offense, and was able to drive to the basket. But probably most impressive was the finish that she had there. Obviously had some players coming over, swiping at the ball. I think that's another instance of the case where you get that perimeter pressure, and sometimes it hurts you a little bit because you're putting so much pressure, it leaves you susceptible for that drive to the basket, and that's exactly what happened there.
Dockery converts the three-point play, give her 7 points for the contest. It pulls Chicago State within 5, 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Wolverines work the basketball. Jenkins from the baseline, no good. And the rebound goes to Janae Dockery. Outlet pass to Marlowe. Now Tiara Williams will spot up for 3. This won't go. Off the back iron, no good. And it's going to be called out of bounds on Sammie Jensen. Chicago State will keep it. Jensen fighting for the rebound there. She has just 1 in the contest so far. She's had 12 double-doubles on the season. She's been in double figures in both points and rebounds. Tiara Williams falls and puts the shot up. called a foul. Foul's going to go on Abby Butler, so it'll be free throws for Tiara Williams.
Yeah, Abby Butler gets called for the foul there, but I think that was a little bit incidental contact. Obviously didn't mean to trip there, but that's what the call was on. Tiara Williams going to the free throw line.
Tiara Williams, a 5'7" freshman from Southfield, Michigan, averaging 6.2 points per game for the Cougars. Rattled the first one home.
Back in for the Wolverines, number 14, Jenna Johnson.
And we see the replay. It didn't look like much of a trip there. You know, she got called for that, but it looks like she just kind of planted her foot there and got stuck, wasn't able to move. So yeah, it didn't look like any foul there. Unfortunate break for the Wolverines as we see a little bit full court pressure. Nice job of the Wolverines breaking that and attacking the basket.
Shot won't drop for Newbold, but it's out of bounds off of Chicago State, fighting for the rebound, so the Wolverines will keep it.
We've seen a lot of different defenses from Chicago State. The 1-3-1, the press that they've done, the trapping that they've done, the 2-3, the 3-2. You know, they're trying to mix it up. I think the Wolverines have done a good job of recognizing what defense they're in and then attacking from there.
Pass looking for Jensen, deflected by Dockery and stolen. Here comes Chicago State. Outlet pass to Janae Dockery, back to Marlowe. She'll put up a three-pointer, short off the rim, no good. The Cougars get the offensive board though, and they'll set up another play. 6 minutes left here in the first half. Cougars down by just 3 in the lane. Shot won't go. Wild shot by Collins, and Newbold has the rebound for the Wolverines. To Finch. Finch pass is stolen by Williams, and here comes Marlowe and the Cougars. Ahead to Dockery between the legs with the dribble. Back to Williams now. Work the basketball to Jackie Jones. Jones trying to get around Jenna Johnson. She does so. Count the basket and score 2 more for Chicago State. Cougars will be headed to the line here, trying to complete the 3-point play and trying to tie this basketball game up.
I think where Chicago State's having a lot of success is we're going to see the nice drive there, and you see Erica Newbold coming over, still moving into the play at the last moment there, but a nice move there from Jackie Jones. You know, Chicago State has had a lot of success in driving. You know, they haven't settled for any outside shots. In fact, I don't even think they've taken, they have taken 2 3-pointers. There's that trap again and that pressure that's caused problems.
Marlowe underneath the basket, has to pass it back. Looked to have an easy layup there, but she couldn't control the basketball. Here's Dockery. Backs it out to Tiara Williams. Tiara Williams runs into a double team, and she'll back it to Jones. The Cougars looking to take the lead here, and we're all tied up. Dockery is going to be a foul call, contact on Whitney Jenkins. The crowd here at the UCCU Center doesn't like the call.
A nice job there of moving your feet, trying to take that charge, but we get a block there, and I think the correct foul there. But what Chicago State's had success with, and we can see that, is that they're being so aggressive in driving to the basket. They're not settling for the outside shot. They're trying to get the defense for the Wolverines spread out, create some mismatches here and there, and then trying to attack and trying to drive. And their offense the last few possessions has been all about that, and it's probably going to continue because they've been successful. So let's watch that. Watch them spread the defense out. Watch them get it into their quicker guards' hands and let them make a play. We've seen a lot of that offense for Chicago State.
Taking a look at the Great West Conference standings, currently North Dakota in first place at 5-1. That one loss was to Utah Valley. Wolverines in second, 3-2. Chicago State and NJIT tied for third at 3-3. And UTPA and Houston Baptist round out the conference standings. The Wolverines currently in second. Chicago State currently in third. So this is a very important contest here today. Free throw by Dockery, 1-on-1 situation. The first one's good. She'll have a second to come. Jenny Dockery talked a few minutes ago, said she was having a quiet first half. Since I said that, Matt, maybe I shouldn't have. She's playing much better. Dockery hits both free throws.
She's done a little bit of everything. We've seen her shoot the 3-point shot. We've seen her shoot the, a little bit closer jump shots. We've seen her drive and be active. And in the 2-3 zone that they're playing, she's the center. She plays the middle position, so she's doing a lot of good things.
Cougars take, I believe, their first lead since the very first of the ball game, up 27-25. Kyra Prowse on the floor for the Wolverines. Her pass is deflected. Johnson picks it up. Fadeaway baseline jumper from Jenna won't go. Callie Roach has the rebound. Got a foul call. I believe it's going to go on Tiara Williams. Nice rebound there by Callie Roach for the Wolverines. And Williams will pick up her second personal. 15 foul for the Cougars. Kanika Davis will jump off the bench quickly for Chicago State and replace Tiara Williams.
Yeah, we can see how active Chicago State is in the passing lanes, how many deflections they're getting, the chances that they're taking to try and get steals when the Wolverines are passing the ball. It's been pretty impressive to watch how active that they've been. But when the Wolverines take care of the ball, they can get just about any shot that they like.
Call an offensive foul or an illegal screen here on Callie Roach. Wolverines have showed the graphic there on the fouls. That's 10 team fouls on the Wolverines, just 5 on Chicago State. Utah Valley also has 4 players with 2 fouls apiece. Jenna Johnson will take a rest. Taylor Huber, the freshman from the state of Virginia, will come on the floor to replace her. Take a look at the turnovers as well. Utah Valley has 11 turnovers to Chicago State's 8. Collins in the lane, puts the shot up, won't go. Looked like Roach altered that shot, and the Wolverines come away with the rebound. Sydney Mason with it. Mason to Prowse. And look inside are the Wolverines. They find Huber wide open, three-pointer off the side of the backboard. Roach picks up the board, goes back up and in with it. Nice job by Callie Roach, working hard. She ties the game back up at 27-all.
Yeah, great offensive rebound and a great finish there and a much-needed basket. A good wide-open three-point shot from the corner, but you get the Wolverines working for that offensive rebound and Roach with the finish.
It looked like Roach just got the blocks there. Wolverines on the fast break. Finished by Prowse as she puts the layup up and in. Nice job, Kyra Prowse. 29-27 UVU. The Wolverines with 4 quick points here, jump ahead by 2 points.
You see the perimeter game. Chicago State doesn't really have a post player in the game. They may try to post up their guards, but it's a 5-out motion offense, it seems like. Just getting that ball, working it around the perimeter, trying to create some opportunities.
There's another perimeter basket scored by Jackie Jones. Ties the game back at 29-all. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Kyra Prowse to Sammie Jensen. Back up top to Mason. Mason double team, splits it, gets in the lane, contact. Got an offensive foul called on Sydney Mason. A little out of control there, and they'll call the foul. We've got a media timeout, so we'll step aside and take it. 2:53 to go here until the half. We're all tied at 29 apiece.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Here's a replay of that offensive foul called on Sydney Mason as we went to break. She rammed into Janae Dockery there. Dockery took the contact and the offensive foul. Chicago State will have the basketball. All tied at 29 apiece. The Wolverines have led by as many as 10 in this first half. Right now, a tied basketball game. Jackie Jones with the ball, hands it off to Marlowe. Marlowe will drive with the left hand in the lane, puts a shot up and in, counted, and she's fouled. That's a 3rd and 1 I think Chicago State's had in this first half. This time it's Natalie Marlowe with a strong finish.
Yeah, and once again, it bears repeating. However many times we do talk about it, these aren't long outside jump shots. It's aggressiveness going to the basket. That's what we talked about as one of the keys to the game. And a nice job there by. We see that every player for Chicago State, and Natalie Marlowe in that instance, does a nice job of driving to the basket and not settling for anything outside.
Free throw no good by Marlowe. Cougars up by 2. There's a deep 2, top of the key. Mason no good. The rebound tipped out to Chicago State. Stolen by Kyra Krause. Nice job by Krause. Just took it right away from Davis. Jump shot from the baseline, no good from Jensen. Put back up and in. Nice job by the Wolverines. Taylor Huber right there. She scores 2 and ties the contest back up at 31-all.
Yeah, Wolverines have got a lot of shots from the baseline, whether it be from like the short corner spot, as we're going to get a moving screen here. I believe that's going to be called on number 12, Abby. Excuse me, on number 12. That's who they do call it on. Yeah. So we see Stewart going out there to set the screen and wasn't set and was moving, but the Wolverines have got a lot of shots from the corner, from whether it be on the baseline or the corner three-point shot, and when that happens, that opens up weak side rebounds, and time again, the Wolverines have got those weak side rebounds for easy baskets and easy putbacks.
Showing the graphic of the turnovers, and there's another turnover. Utah Valley turns it over to the Cougars. The Cougars almost just turned it right back to the Wolverines. Work it down low to Dockery. Dockery double team, backs it up to Jones. 12 on the shot clock, a minute and a half left in the first half. Davis, jump shot, no good. Rebound controlled. Nice job by Alle Finch of UVU. Here, Coach Nixon for Utah Valley calling out the play to a point guard, Sydney Mason. Wolverines working the basketball. Trying to split the defense. Finch picks it back up, shot short, and Marlowe has the rebound. Marlowe down court, off to Kanika Davis. Davis will back it out. We're under a minute left in the first half. Ball on the floor, and it's stolen by Sammie Jensen. Jensen handling the basketball now to Alle Finch. 45 seconds left here in the first half, still tied at 31-all. Utah Valley looking for a basket here to try to go ahead before the break. Kyra Krause, three-pointer short. Rebound tipped out. Sydney Mason picks up. She hits the deck. Gonna have a tripping foul called on Kanika Davis.
That's gonna put Sydney Mason at the free throw line, as that puts Chicago State over the limit. But once again, there's a corner three and a corner shot. I think we've seen more shots from the baseline, whether, as I said earlier, whether it be the short corner or the three-pointer. We see a lot of those shots in this game with the defense that Chicago State's playing. And once again, a long rebound that benefits the Wolverines, and another offensive rebound also.
Sydney Mason hits the first free throw to earn herself another. That's Mason's first point of the basketball game. Looking for a second. This free throw's up, and this one's good. The Wolverines lead 33-31. 35 seconds to go here till the half.
Wolverines get a good defensive possession here. If they can secure a rebound off of a miss, or if they can get the ball out off of a turnover or a made shot, they're going to get an opportunity for a last shot here in the half.
Marlowe up and in. Beautiful feed into her as the Cougars score 2 and tie it back at 33-all. Wolverines back with the basketball. Just as you said, Matt, looking for that final shot as Sydney Mason will hold it. To Alle Finch, looking for Krause in the corner. It's knocked out of bounds off of Natalie Marlowe, so the Wolverines will keep it with 5.2 on the clock here in the first half. Huber, a shooter, checks in for the Wolverines, and a little defense in for the Cougars as Davis and Chanel Wilson-Stewart check in. Whitney Jenkins will also come in for the Wolverines. All tied at 33-all. Wolverines looking for a shot here. For a basket, I should say, to take the lead before the break. Sydney Mason, 3 on the clock. Hands it back to Huber. Can't get the shot off as she loses control of it. And that'll take us to the half, as the Wolverines couldn't get the shot off. We're tied at 33-all, so we've got ourselves a good Great West Conference contest this afternoon as the Wolverines and Chicago State Cougars tied at 33-all. We'll step aside and take a break. We'll be back with the halftime report here momentarily on the UVU Sports Network.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Welcome back. We're at the half. It's all tied at 33-all, Utah Valley and Chicago State. But besides the women's basketball game going on right now, we've got a big wrestling duel going on this evening as Utah Valley will be hosting the #2 Penn State Nittany Lions. Not every day, Matt, you get to face the defending national champion, so it should definitely be a great contest. Expecting a big crowd here this evening. And now we'll send it to find out a little more about the wrestling program. Here's a little more on UVU Wrestling.
These guys are coming in and they're not setting the foundation, they're building on it. They're taking that to the next step. And there's a lot of faith and confidence in our program right now.
When I came in, it seemed like the upper class kind of dominated the recruiting class and the freshmen. There wasn't many of the freshmen that could push them and get them better to compete at the national level. But now we have the freshmen coming in, they're competing for starting spots right off the get-go, forcing the returners and the upperclassmen to get better and hone their skills a little.
A lot of these young guys have All-American throughout high school, so they have the confidence coming in, so they know they can do big things.
We were able to get some good kids, and Ben Kerr and Flint Ray and Justin Morrill, Brad Darrington, some of those guys, and we're able to get guys to nationals those first 2 years that we were eligible to go postseason. The reputation of the program has been growing in the Western United States especially, and it's really helped our recruiting. We were able to get the 11th ranked recruiting class this last year. We're not used to that much talent in the room.
Like, everyone's improving so much week to week, and I think by the end of the year we're going to be competing with those top teams. We're going to compete for a division title.
In order to develop them, they have to have that mat experience. Getting the matches is great, but getting the matches against the guys they have to beat at nationals is the most important step.
We're a lot younger than a lot of those, elite programs, but we can definitely give them a run for their money.
This year we have as many as 8 ranked teams. A few of them, like Penn State, is the returning, national champs, and Boise State. We're going out and wrestling Cal Poly, Stanford, Wyoming. Those are all ranked teams.
I think it's a great opportunity to show what we really have, to shock the nation, show them how good we are, how good we can be.
Angle this way.
It'll be an exciting season. We're really young, got a lot of talent, but we'll go places this year.
We're going in the right direction, and we're super excited about our future.
Well, you see there that there's quite a bit going on at the UVU wrestling program, especially bringing in #2 Penn State, Matt. It definitely should be a good one tonight, and I'm excited for the crowd. We're anticipating a huge crowd here at the UCCU Center tonight. So if you're watching right now, come on out and check it out. And also, that's going to be televised on UVU TV tonight. It'll also be rebroadcast next week on Fox College Sports. I believe Wednesday night you can catch that on Fox College Sports. So it should be definitely a huge opportunity for Utah Valley hosting the Penn State Nittany Lions. We're at the half, and we'll step aside, take a break with more as we'll break down the first half here in a minute as you're watching UVU and Chicago State on the UVU Sports Network.
I never used to care about college sports. I mean, I go to a game or two, but it's mainly for social reasons,
And how has green fever affected your school spirit?
I never miss a sporting event. You got NCAA, baseball, softball, basketball, golf, wrestling, soccer, volleyball. I'm memorizing stats. I'm dreaming about Wolverines. I just bought a pet Wolverine. It tore my dad's favorite shoe. It was wicked awesome. No, I don't play sports. I wouldn't want to make the athletes envious. I don't mess around, man.
Bus Pass. $5. UVU t-shirt so you can impress the ladies, $25. iPod Nano, $120. A degree from UVU so you can afford your own car someday. Priceless. For everything else, there's student loans.
What makes you feel the need to pretend to have green fever?
Well, it's totally real. Just because I'm different.
I can see the magic marker in your pocket. Well, why don't we focus on ways that you can actually get green fever, like wanting hands-on experience or wanting a degree from UVU that will actually help you in the real world. I think Beverly's made some real progress today.
Well, welcome back here at the half. Wolverines and Chicago State Cougars all tied at 33 all. James Warnick, Matt Peterson here with you. And Matt, it was a pretty good first half. Maybe you could break down the stats a little bit. I mean, it was very, very evenly matched.
Yeah, we saw a lot of things going on. As we see here, the Wolverines field goals were 13 for 29 from the field, about 45%. They didn't shoot the three very well. They were only 1 for 7, 14%. I think what played a big key in that first half for the Wolverines is they did have 13 turnovers. Chicago State shot 11 of 26, 42%. They didn't hit a three. They didn't really take that many. They only took 2 3-point shots, and obviously 0 for 2 there. And they had a problem turning the basketball over with 11 turnovers. And we go back to some of those things that we talked about, keys to the game, and we talked about how turnovers was going to be a big part of today's game, and I think that's exactly been the case. Both teams turning the basketball over. I think both teams will need to make some adjustments at half and address that issue. But both teams not shooting the ball terribly well, but other ways they've been able to stay in the game is tied at 33 at the half.
It's definitely anyone's game right now. Now we'll take a look at some first half highlights.
Yeah, we see a lot of good things from both teams here. There's that high-low action we saw often. Erica Newbold passing that in there to Sammie Jensen. These shots in the corner, we mentioned that, and on the baseline, they've been there. Nice job here of Sammie Jensen getting out and running in transition. Defensively, I think the Wolverines, that would be, to me, their main issue is allowing Chicago State to drive and to penetrate. And when they get those turnovers, they've done a really nice job of getting out in transition and converting. A couple nice passes there for the Wolverines. And I think with Whitney Jenkins, we're seeing a lot of highlights from her. She's had a great first half and done very well for the Wolverines. Obviously, the story for Chicago State is number 21, Janae Dockery, has 9 points at the half, and containing her in the second half and playing that continued good defense, as we're seeing all these highlights here from Chicago State, I think will be a big key for the Wolverines going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you talked about Dockery leading Chicago State with 9. Behind her, Jackie Jones has 7 points in the first half. For Utah Valley, Sammie Jensen finishes that first half with 10 points. And Whitney Jenkins has 6. Well, we'll step aside, take a break, and be back with more here at the half as we're tied at 33 all.
Utah Valley University. Your life, your beat, your university.
Well, welcome back here. At the half, Chicago State and Utah Valley all knotted up at 33 points apiece. Matt, the Wolverines jumped down to a 10-point lead early on in that first half. Looked like they were playing very well. Kind of off. They had a lot of points in the paint early on, but then Chicago State caught up. Well, what do you think kind of the difference was there as the Cougars really got back into the game and as we're all tied here at halftime?
I think it was a couple things. I think that the Wolverines just weren't able to score during that stretch when Chicago State came back in like they did early on. You know, they came out and they were making every shot and were able to stretch the game out to that 10-point lead. And then I think they just struggled a little bit offensively, and you can give some credit to Chicago State for their defense at that point. But I think also Chicago State was able to kind of turn it up a notch as far as their aggressiveness offensively, both offensively and defensively. But, you know, really they started to attack more. They weren't settling for easy long shots, and that I think is really what helped them turn the corner. I see, you know, this game being kind of in the second half. We're knotted up at halftime here. You know, who can take care of the basketball better? Because I think both teams will be fine and have been fine at spurts in that first half when they didn't turn the basketball over. So I think those things. I think Chicago State's offensive and defensive aggressiveness, just the Wolverines kind of went in a spell there where they weren't able to score, weren't able to add to their lead, and those were some of the factors that allowed Chicago State to come back into the game.
Coming into the contest, Utah Valley, they lost their last game to NJIT, but before that, they had won 5 of their last 6, had been playing very good. That one loss was at Chicago State, though, however, as these two teams met up a couple weeks ago. Chicago State was up by about 5 points towards the end of the half. The Cougars went on a 10-0 run in that prior season matchup, stretched to a 15-point lead at the break, and then they went on to cruise in the second half to a 27-point win. But today, we're all even at 33 all, so we'll see, as you talked about, who kind of wants it more, who can take care of the basketball. And, I mean, this really, as we've hit on it a couple times, this is kind of a pivotal game in the Great West Conference season right now. Kind of the midway point. Wolverines currently in second place with a 3-2 conference record. Chicago State tied for third with a 3-3 record. I mean, this game right here is pretty pivotal to see what'll happen as we go down the stretch towards the conference tournament that'll be held in Chicago March 8th through the 10th.
Yeah, and no matter what level you play at, I mean, whether it's professional or whether it's, you know, junior jazz here locally, but anytime you get into like a playoff or into like conference season, you know, you never want to lose those games at home. You know, the expectation is that when you go on the road, maybe the home team has a slight advantage, but home games in conference are vital, and I think it's going to definitely be vital for the Wolverines to win this game, as they've already gone on the road to Chicago State, where these two teams are so close. But you know, those home games are so important because you have to take care of business at home.
Talk about how important it is at home. The Wolverines are 7-4 at home. Chicago State just 1-9 on the road on the season, and we got a foul as we start the second half called on Abby Butler. I believe that's her 3rd personal. Well, that's a tough break. Wolverines had 4 players with 2 fouls apiece at the end of the first half. Abby Butler, just as we start the second half, picks up her 3rd personal foul. Ball knocked out of bounds by Alle Finch. Good hustle by Finch, the junior from Riverton, Utah, transferred to Utah Valley from Snow College before this season. Cougars will inbound one more time. Get it in, it's knocked away and stolen momentarily, but picked right back by Jackie Jones. Sammie Jensen had it, and Jones snuck up behind her and grabbed it right back. Go to Natalie Marlowe, now bounce pass to Dockery, layup up and in. They call it traveling violation though, to wipe that basket away. Still tied at 33 apiece. The Wolverines will have their first possession of the first half.
Yeah, I think
second half.
Yeah, Janae Dockery, unfortunate there. She made a nice cut and was rewarded with a great pass, but just wasn't able to collect the ball and gets called for the travel.
On the baseline, Jenkins gets it to Newell, and the foul's called. Paris Williams with the block, but the foul is called. Foul will go on Paris Williams.
Yeah, see the nice entry pass in there from Whitney Jenkins, and this is what we saw early on in the game here for UVU, is that they tried to establish and they tried to get the ball inside. Remember, we talked about their first 10 points were all in the paint, so no surprise coming out the start of the second half to see them try and get that ball inside to Erica Newbold, to Sammie Jensen, where they have a height advantage and a size advantage inside. And so don't be surprised to see them continue that action, try and getting it inside and get those easy baskets like they did to start the game.
Newbold puts the Wolverines on top by 2. Finishes 4 points in the ball game, all from the free throw line. Last game, Newbold had 12 points and a career high 14 rebounds. Dump off pass, layup missed by Paris Williams, and Utah Valley comes away with it. Nice look there for Chicago State. Just Paris Williams couldn't finish. Wolverines looking inside, it looks like again. Handed up top first to Jensen. They work it to the baseline. Jenkins wide open jump shot. Rattles around and goes in. Nice shot by Jenkins. I believe that gives her 8 points. The Wolverines lead by 4.
Yeah, nice job there from Whitney Jenkins working the baseline. Just going back and forth, reading what the defense is doing, and creates an opening and an open shot for her on the baseline.
Shot won't go by Tiara Williams. The follow by Paris Williams won't go, and she is fouled. That's going to be called on Abby Butler, her 4th personal. Wolverines can't believe it as Abby Butler will pick up her 4th personal foul. It's 18:29 to play. Starting point guard for Utah Valley. That's put the Wolverines in a hole here. She'll have to take a seat for quite a few minutes. Williams at the line hits the first free throw. Jenna Johnson, senior guard, will check in and replace Abby Butler, another senior guard. Wolverines will have to slide things over and have either Jenkins or Finch run the point now. They'll have, probably looks like Alle Finch handled the basketball. She brings it across.
Yeah, that does throw a change when you get a guard who is your primary ball handler, picks up a foul or picks up that early foul in the second half. And interesting to see how long Coach Nixon leaves her on the bench. She's going to have able and willing ball handlers in Jenna Johnson on the court, and also, as you said, Alle Finch on the court, who brought the ball up that time. But interested to see what adjustments the Wolverines make.
Finch looking for Jensen, can't find her. It's stolen by Chicago State. Outlet pass down court, Tiara Williams. 2-on-2, she'll pass it off to the baseline. Chicago State backs it out. Paris Williams, the trailer, jump shot from the free throw line is good. That's it to a 1-point game. Wolverines up 37-36, 17:52 to go.
Yeah, that was caused by another turnover from the Wolverines. And we see this, James, here. I mean, all these passes that the Wolverines are doing, they've got to make sure that they're passing it when it's open, because they've had a tendency to force it just like that. Now, that's an instance where they're trying to force the ball, and Paris Williams on the last possession was able to knock and tap the ball away. So they have to assume that in any pass that they make, that Chicago State's going to be in the passing lane and going to try and deflect the ball. To me, that's been the biggest problem for the Wolverine offense tonight, is the fact that they've got so many passes deflected and turnovers off of passes.
Sydney Mason on the floor, the backup point guard. Take a look at the turnovers. Utah Valley has 14, Chicago State with 12 at the free throw line. Pass, well, we've got a foul called. Foul's gonna go on Tiara Williams.
Well, we see the replay here, and a nice job of being aggressive. You see how spread that zone got, and a nice drive there from Whitney Jenkins.
Wolverines had a look there as he came out of the replay graphic. Sammie Jensen had a good look, it wouldn't go. Back the other way, Chicago State three-pointers good by Tiara Williams, and that puts the Cougars on front 39-37, 17 minutes to go. Wolverines jumped out to a quick 4-point lead here in the second half. Now the Cougars have fought back to take the lead, back ahead by 2. Jenkins' pass looking for Jensen. I believe they're just going to call that out of bounds. The officials are conferring, but they're going to say it was out of bounds. And Chicago State will have the basketball. 2 officials conferring with one another. Want to check things over at the scores table. Coach Angela Jackson's arguing that last foul on the wrong player. They called it on number 2, Tiara Williams. When we saw the replay, it looked like it was Janae Dockery, I believe, that. Out front, here's a three-pointer. Short won't go by Tiara Williams. Sydney Mason has the basketball. Her outlet pass is stolen by Paris Williams. But then she can't handle it, drops it out of bounds, and the Wolverines will have it right back.
Yeah, we'll see if the referees make an adjustment or look at that further. As you know, as you said, Coach Jackson in front of here questioning who the foul was actually called on. So let's see. I don't think the referees, I think they have made their decision. We'll see what happens here.
Checking things over one more time at the scores table. Ashley Clems, the freshman from Las Vegas, will check in and replace Sydney Mason. Clems can play some point guard. She'll inbound the pass into Jenna Johnson. Wolverines have a new 30-second shot clock. Jenkins with the basketball up top to Clems. Clems looking for Newbold. She's got her with the lob pass. Newbold misses the layup attempt. Rebound ricochets to Chicago State as Jackie Jones races it down court. Jones pass Clems. Layup up and in. Counted and she's fouled. Nice job by Jackie Jones off to the races there. And she finishes with a fancy scoop layup. Headed to the line to try to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, that was just a tough spot for the Wolverines to be in, trying to get back, race back, and set their transition defense, and they weren't able to do that, and Jackie Jones takes advantage of that.
Jones, a free throw is good. Give Jackie Jones 10 points in the basketball game as she leads Chicago State in the scoring column. Chicago State on top, 42-37. Wolverines with the basketball. Whitney Jenkins hands it to Jenna Johnson. Johnson stops, 15-foot jump shot up and in. Nice job by Jenna Johnson. Jenna's kind of been struggling the last few ball games for the Wolverines offensively, but hit a couple nice jump shots here this afternoon.
Yeah, and she's going to have to play an important role as we see a breakdown there defensively for the Wolverines as Jackie Jones able to cut to the middle, and foul coming over there. No chance or no option but to foul there from Callie Roach.
Callie Roach will pick up the foul, and we'll step aside and take a break with Chicago State on top of Utah Valley, 42-39 with 15:46 to go in this one. Welcome back out of the timeout. Here you see that last foul as we went to break. Moon driving in. Callie Roach forced to help. Called for the foul as she stepped in. Gonna be free throws for Jackie Jones at the line as we come out of the timeout. I haven't had a chance to talk about, but today's the pink game here at the UCCU Center this afternoon. You can see some of the Wolverine players with pink shoelaces, pink socks. Jones's first free throw is off the mark, no good. Pink headbands as Wolverines are representing Pink for a Purpose here and playing for the K Foundation. All donations will be donated to the Play for K Foundation. Both free throws no good by Jones, and Utah Valley has the rebound. So a break for the Wolverines. Wolverines currently down by 3. 15:37 to play, so plenty of time. Just a 3-point deficit in the lane. Roach tries to go to work, and a foul's called as Marlowe hits the deck. Well, that foul's going to go on Natalie Marlowe. It will.
Yeah, this was a nice pass, and you see how open Callie Roach got in there as it was a duck-in move. She made a nice, aggressive move, saw that there was an opening, saw that the defender really wasn't watching, wasn't paying much attention. She did a nice job of just ducking into the middle of the lane and made a nice, strong move once she got the ball.
First free throw no good from Roach. The second one's up. This one's good. Callie Roach has 3 points in the basketball game. Nice minutes off the bench for the Wolverines this afternoon. 2-point game, Wolverines down by 2. Janae Dockery picks up her dribble, adds it into the corner. Paris Williams, jump shot up and good. That's a deep 2 put on the line. Cougars go in front by 4, 44-40.
When you look at the lineup that Chicago State has, you would think that she would be the one post player in there. She would be the one who would be posting up inside, but shows her range there and is able to knock down the long jumper.
Nice play by Jackie Jones as she gets the steal, throws it off of Sammie Jensen's leg, and the Cougars will have it. Nice hustle play there. Chicago State playing very well. You can see the hustle in the Cougars here on the road. I mean, they played in North Dakota, handed a big defeat. They lost by 35 points, something like that, at North Dakota the other night. Traveled here to Orem, Utah. They've still got some spring in their step, playing very good. The road contest and back-to-back road games for Chicago State. Up top, Jackie Jones penetrates the lane. Her outlet pass stolen by Whitney Jenkins. Jenkins off to the races. Wide open, fast break bucket, up and in. Nice job by Whitney Jenkins. She's having herself a ball game for the Wolverines this afternoon. Cuts it to a 2-point deficit.
Yeah, great defensive play there, anticipating where the pass was going to go. Didn't gamble. Made a nice move when she saw that she had it. She had a play just like that a little bit earlier on where she got an easy fast break layup, but a good defensive awareness and great defensive play there from Whitney Jenkins.
15-foot jumper no good by Jackie Jones, and Sammie Jensen has the rebound. Sammie Jensen to Johnson, jump shot from the baseline, nothing but net. Nice stroke by Johnson as she hits the jumper. And the Wolverines have tied this basketball game at 44 all with 14:03 to go.
Now Wolverines getting a little bit of life here. You know, you get a nice defensive possession as we see some good screens there. Good screen set. Jenna Johnson sets her feet, squares up to the basket and knocks that down. But Wolverines getting a little bit more life here. Maybe just takes one play, one play that can turn and can change the momentum. And Wolverines definitely have the last 2 plays in their favor. Let's see if they can continue it on the defensive end where it's really aided them.
Paris Williams with the basketball for Chicago State, looking for Marlowe. Tough pass to handle, and it's stolen by Sydney Mason of UVU. Mason to Jenkins, drives baseline, layup up, won't go, rebound, fought for. On the floor, a bunch of players fight for it, and Sammie Jensen comes away with it. Skip pass to Johnson, shot won't go, rebound tipped by Jensen again. We've got a foul called, and Utah Valley will keep possession as the foul is going to be called on Natalie Marlowe. So we talked about Chicago State's hustle a minute ago. Here we see the Wolverines with a nice job hustling for the basketball, really fighting, doing everything they can. And Utah Valley, it'll work in their favor as they'll keep this one.
Yeah, just as we talked about in the first half, what got Chicago State back in the game was their aggressiveness, offensive, defensively. Seems to work in the same way the last couple of plays here and possessions for the Wolverines. They got a good shot there, weren't able to convert, but what's turned it is this effort on this end of the floor, their defense.
Mansfield's jump shot just off the mark moments ago. Marlowe gets it to Dockery. Dockery in the lane, steps around Johnson. Off the glass, won't go. Dockery's follow won't go, and Jenna Johnson has the board. And off to the races, a 4-on-1 break for the Wolverines. Johnson tries to take it by herself, and she's going to be called for the charging foul. Jenna had lots of options there, it looked like, Matt, with the 4-on-1, but she tried to take it herself and called for the charging foul.
Yeah, I mean, you like her aggressiveness because you see how deep number 14 was there for Chicago State. That's Natalie Marlowe. But at the last moment there, you almost liked her to see, dump that off to Whitney Jenkins, who was running the lane, running out in transition with her. And in hindsight, obviously, it looks like that was the best play because she got called for the foul. But that opportunity, she tried to take it in just a little bit too far. Missed an opportunity to pass that off at the last moment.
Jackie Jones at the elbow with the basketball. Hands it back to Dockery. She has to save it as she dribbled off her knee, but did a nice job to save it before it went out of bounds. Dockery will drive, double team, puts a tough attempt up, won't go, and Mansfield has the rebound. Head to Mason, her former high school teammate at American Fork High in the corner. Jenkins hits the three-pointer. Big shot by Whitney Jenkins. And the Wolverines take a 3-point lead.
What a run the Wolverines have put together here. It's been so impressive. You see the life that they have defensively. It just seems like they have so much more energy And that's caused them, as we get a foul here from Jenna Johnson, but that's given them life in this run that they've put together.
Natalie Marlowe's going to head to the line to try to shoot 2 free throws for Chicago State. I believe the Wolverines are on a 7-0 or an 8-0 run right now. Playing much better as they lead by 3. Natalie Marlowe at the line has 4 points in the basketball game. First free throw is good. That's Marlowe's first made free throw of the basketball game. She's 1 for 2 from the charity stripe so far. Have a second to come. Trying to make it a 1-point basketball game. Marlowe's second free throw is good. So she does just that. It's a 1-point game. Wolverines on top. It's over 12 minutes to go in this one. Second and third place teams currently in the Great West doing battle at the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah this afternoon. Sydney Mason hands it to Jenna Johnson. Open jumper from Jenna. Nothing but net. Jenna has been shooting very well today. Puts the Wolverines back on top by 3.
Yeah, nice job there. Sydney Mason took the ball away from Jenna, but Jenna just didn't stand where she was. She followed the ball, got into the open space, wide open at the the junction there, and a great finish there from Jenna.
Beautiful pass to Dockery. Can't get the shot to go, but she fights for it and gets the offensive board. Hand it out to Marlowe. Now they swing it to Jones. Jones loses control of it in the lane. It's picked up and stolen by Sydney Mason. Mason pass outlet to Johnson. Johnson's going to be fouled as she tried to put the layup attempt up. And Jenna will head to the line to shoot 2 when we get back. The foul called on Kanika Davis of Chicago State. We'll step aside, take a break. 11-12 to go in the basketball game. It's the Wolverines 49, Chicago State Cougars 46.
Utah Valley University. Your life, your beat, your university.
Well, welcome back. Here's take a look at that last foul. Jenna Johnson on the fast break tried to put that layup attempt up and was fouled, so she'll head to the line to shoot 2. Whitney Jenkins, leading all scorers, has 13 points. Sammie Jensen with 10, also has 6 rebounds. Jenna Johnson, who's headed to the line, has 8 points for Chicago State. Jackie Jones has 10. Janae Dockery with 9, and Tiara Williams with 8. Big free throws for Jenna Johnson here, having a nice ball game with 8 points, right at her season average. First free throw, nothing but net from Jenna. Jenna's averaging 8 points per game during the regular season, but in a conference game, she's only averaging like 2.5 points. So it's great to see Jenna having a big ball game as she hits both free throws, give herself some double digits with 10 points.
Yeah, and it was much needed because Abby Buehler picked up those, the quick 4th foul with over 18 minutes left to go. So Jenna has come in and played really well. I like what the Wolverines have done defensively here in the second half, holding Chicago State 4 of 12 from the field. So their defense has been impressive and needs to be commended.
Chicago State with the basketball. Jump shot, Davis from the baseline won't go. Rebound grab by Collins. Offensive board, nice pass as she finds the cutting Tiara Williams and she scores 2. Beautiful pass there. Tiara Williams scores the layup and the Wolverines lead by 3. Whitney Jenkins hands it to Mason, now to Jenna Johnson. Johnson has the hot hand. So does Jenkins. They've both been hot here in the second half. Hands it back to Johnson. Picks up her dribble. In trouble. She runs into a double team. Now backs it out. Jenna will step into a 3-pointer. Nothing but net. Give her 13 points for the basketball game. to tie the lead all scores. Her and her teammate Whitney Jenkins have 13 apiece. Wolverines lead by 6.
Yeah, those two players have been key, and especially Jenna Johnson, because as you said, hasn't played that well in conference here. As we going to get a foul on Erica Newbold on the drive there from Jasmine Collins, but Jenna Johnson provided a much-needed spark, and she's played great when needed and at the most important times here in the second half as we get the replay here of the nice drive, and you see Erica Newbold fouling there at the last moment.
Newbold picks up her 3rd personal foul. 7th foul on the Wolverines already. So they're over the limit with 10 minutes left in the basketball game. Chicago State has 5 team fouls. Substitution, Paris Williams checks in. Kanika Davis checks out. First free throw is good. Jasmine Collins, a 6-foot freshman from Richmond Park, Illinois, with the 2nd free throw up. This one's no good.
Yeah, they're going to get a lane violation here.
She'll have another chance here as they call the lane violation. Chance to redeem herself for missing that free throw moments ago. This one's up and this one's good. So Collins hits both free throws, cuts it to a 4-point Wolverine lead with just under 10 minutes to go in the basketball game. Sydney Mason with the left-handed dribble out to Jenkins. Jenkins back to Mason. Mason, hot move. Hands it to Johnson, now back to Sydney. Bounce pass back to Jenna. Jenna steps around Morrow, puts the jumper up, won't go. Sammie Jensen gets the offensive board and put back. Nice job by Jensen. Johnny on the spot there, puts the Wolverines back in front by 6.
Yeah, that was a very good possession for the Wolverines. They were able to work the ball around. They were able to take advantage of the really quick perimeter players that they have in right now. And they got a good shot, and give tons of credit to Sammie Jensen, there on the offensive rebound and putback.
Whitney Jenkins almost came away with another steal. She poked away from Dockery, but Dockery was able to get it back. Hands it off to Tiara Williams in the lane, puts it up with 2 on the shot clock, won't go, and Sammie Jensen has another rebound. Wolverines trying to get it down court to Whitney Jenkins. It's knocked out of bounds, and Utah Valley will keep it. Alle Finch will check in and replace Jenna Johnson, who played very well. Jenna with their 13 points will take a rest on 5 of 9 shooting from the field. Wolverines get it into Sydney Mason. She looks over to the bench to Coach Nixon for the play.
Yeah, and they've been smart. They've done a lot of smart things against the zone defense.
Tammy gets it into Erica. Got a tie up and the ball was knocked away initially. Jump ball's called. Utah Valley will keep the possession arrow though. The shot clock down. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Sydney Mason, inbound, gets it to Jenkins, back to Sydney, 8 on the shot clock. Jenkins finds, Mason finds Jensen, and Jensen scores 2. Nice job. Jensen with another bucket, and the Wolverines lead by 8, 58-50, their largest lead here in the second half.
Yeah, nice pass there from Sydney Mason. She passed it to where only Sammie Jensen could get the ball. A great pass, and once again, some great defense from the Wolverines, and we've got Whitney Jenkins causing and getting out in transition.
That's Sydney Mason finishing. Jenkins had the steal, Mason with the finish. Wolverines are looking very strong right now as they match their largest lead in the basketball game, up by 10, up 60-50 with 8:09 to go. It's called timeout by Chicago State. So we'll keep this one here. Here's a replay. That nice drive by Sydney Mason. Got swiped at, put the high layup up with the left hand and finished it with a nice basket. Matt, talk about Utah Valley right now as they take the 10-point lead.
Well, I think as we see steals here, Chicago State with 11 steals, the Wolverines with 10. Those are some high numbers for a basketball game. But I think that the Wolverines have done a great job. Well, they were down a little bit early in the second half here, but to me, it's been all defensive. It's been all their defensive effort, and obviously they've scored points, and that's what's enabled them to stretch that out. But they've also done a great job of holding Chicago State offensively, anticipating, getting in the passing lanes, not gambling, and then when you do get that turnover and you're out and running, you're able to finish and you're able to convert on your possessions. And I think you got to give a lot of credit to Jenna Johnson. She came out just recently, but she provided a huge spark coming in At the 18-minute mark, she went nearly 10 minutes of game time, no break, and she played incredible, and really I think is what gave that spark offensively to UVU.
Camera during the timeout showing a number of pink shirts in the crowd. Talked about earlier, today is the Pregame for the Wolverines. The Wolverines are donating all money raised to the Play for K Foundation, a good cause. They raise money for cancer awareness. And we come out of the timeout. Chicago State with the basketball, down by 10. 8 minutes to play in the basketball game. An illegal screen called. Checking into the game, Elise Kumral, and she'll immediately pick up the foul. And we will head to immediate timeout. So we'll step aside, take a break. Wolverines up by 10 as they lead Chicago State 60-50 with 7:59 to go in the ballgame.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of becoming as an adult? A pilot? A teacher? A nurse? Maybe a mathematician? A mechanic? Or a scientist? Now imagine a place where everyone is focused on your success. Imagine an education that is personal, engaging, fun, and professional. With an education from UVU, all of this becomes true. Utah Valley University. It's your dream. It's your university.
Welcome back, Utah Valley on top. 10 points up on Chicago State with 7:59 to play. Taking a look at the stats here during the timeout. Matt, one thing that stands out to me, the Wolverines are shooting 59% from the field here in the second half as they've jumped out this 10-point advantage. We were tied at the break, or at the half, and now Utah Valley leads by 10.
Yeah, and Chicago State 5 of 15. A couple other things that I found pretty interesting. 24 bench points for the Wolverines, 24 of their 60 coming off the bench. They've got 15 second chance points and 20 points off of 17 turnovers for Chicago State as we see Sydney Mason taking advantage of the defense and not settling for anything outside. A great drive there and a nice finish.
Beautiful drive by Sydney Mason as she's hit a couple inside layups here. The last little bit. Outside look, Tiara Williams trying to answer for the Cougars, no good. Rebound, 5-4. Jay Dockery hitting the deck. Newbold down there, and they will tie one another up. Cougars will keep the possession as the possession arrow favors Chicago State. Substitution, Jackie Jones will check in.
And another thing here, James, real quick, is we talked about Janae Dockery and her scoring prowess. She had 9 points at half, and she hasn't scored here in the second half. She still has 9 points, so good defensive effort from the Wolverines as they're forcing another turnover.
Wolverines looking for the fast break bucket, down pass for Finch, and she hits the layup. Nice job by Utah Valley. Sammie Jensen started it, Jenkins credited with the assist, and Finch finished it. Wolverines lead 64-50, their largest lead of the ballgame. Chicago State looking to answer. Jones with the basketball, has her stripped from her. We got a foul called. Gonna go on Alle Finch. Gonna be a 1-and-1 situation. That's the 8th team foul on Utah Valley. Finch picks up her first personal foul of the ballgame.
Yeah, definite foul there. You see Alle Finch reaching in there on the drive, and definitely a clear foul. That's one thing. If I'm Coach Nixon, or you see the situation, the Wolverines able to stretch this out to 14 points. The only way that, well, not the only way, but two ways that Chicago State would be able to get back in the game is by hitting three-point shots and hitting a lot of them, and getting to the free throw line, because any time that they get fouled from here on out, they're going to the free throw line with an opportunity with the clock stopped to get points. And so you got to be careful if you're the Wolverines not to foul, especially in a situation like that where it was just a drive, and that's one of those where you didn't absolutely have to foul.
Jones hit both free throws to cut it to a 12-point game. There's a loose ball. It's going to be turnover, I believe, on the Wolverines. It will be. Utah Valley couldn't handle that one. It got kind of kicked off one of the Wolverine players out of bounds, and Chicago State will have it right underneath their basket.
And you can add to the list of how Chicago State can get back into the game, and that was one of them. You know, Wolverine turnovers. It's what you want to avoid.
Nice job by Whitney Jenkins there. She knocks it out of bounds. Crowd wanted that to be called off of Janae Dockery and be UVU's basketball, but they say it'll go off of Utah Valley. Chicago State will keep it. Natalie Marlowe to inbound. Marlowe hands it into Dockery. Dockery looking for somewhere to go, hands it to Jones, now to Collins. Collins penetrates, now steps back. Except for dribble, hands it to Janae Dockery. Dockery trying to get around Jenkins. Nice defense by Whitney. Stays in front of her, she hands it back to Tiara Williams. 8 on the shot clock. Collins dribbles it off her foot. Dockery picks it up, fire up a 3 ball with the shot clock winding down, no good, and Jenkins has the rebound.
Yeah, great defensive possession there from UVU. All outside, nothing easy, nothing inside. Probably their best defensive possession of the night. That was a great 30 seconds of defense.
Wolverines looking to get the basketball to Sammie Jensen. She has it stolen away from her, and Chicago State has it. Marlowe has her pocket picked by Alle Finch. Finch off to the races. Jones trying to catch her. Finch is able to score the layup. Nice job by Finch with the steal and the basket. Wolverines lead back by 14, 66-52 with 5:43 to go. Dockery between the legs, shaking and baking. Runs into a double team, hands it off to Jones. Deep 2 from the corner won't go. And Sammie Jensen does a beautiful job of boxing out to get that rebound. Sammie Jensen has 9 rebounds, close to another double-double. Down low, Newbold finishes for 2. And the Wolverines jump out to a 68-52 advantage with 5:22 to go. We'll keep this one here. It's a 30-second timeout called by Angela Jackson. Coach Jackson for Chicago State. And Matt, the Wolverines, it looked like Chicago State was trying to make a run there. The Wolverines had a couple of turnovers, but Utah Valley is able to answer here. As Finch, you see on the replay, was able to finish with that steal and fast break basket. But Utah Valley doing a nice job to answer and extend their lead to 16 points.
Well, and it's all come from, you know, forcing turnovers. And Chicago State just in a rut right now. They're not able to get anything going offensively, and they're turning the basketball over. And, you know, give all the credit to the Wolverines for forcing that, and then also for converting those opportunities. And you know, I don't recall the minute or the, you know, the time on the clock that was left, but it was when the Wolverines were down 3 points. I actually believe it was they were down 4 points, and they got a couple quick early baskets. I think it was on the steal and finish from Whitney Jenkins along the far side. And ever since that point, they've just been on this momentum run, and they've ridden it well. And, you know, give a lot of credit to them because they were able just to turn the corner, and it seems like it's come easy for them since then.
Dockery couldn't get it to drop. Marlowe at the finish is going to be, or with the follow attempt, is going to be fouled, and she'll head to the line to shoot 2. 4th foul called on Erica Newbold. 9th team foul on the Wolverines. Marlowe at the line, shooting 2 for Chicago State. Trying to cut into the 16-point Wolverine lead, and she does so. She hits the first free throw. Substitution, Casey Mansfield in, and Newbold will check out with those 4 personal fouls.
Yeah, a lot of times what you see here from some teams in this type of situation, 5 minutes left, you know, you realize you're down 15, possibly 14 points here. You know, maybe they start to pressure. They may start to get a full court pressure on here. That's exactly what Chicago State's trying to do. You know, just extend that pressure out a little bit, look to trap when the Wolverines get into corners. Not surprised to see that, trying to create more opportunities and more possessions.
Wolverines break the trap initially. Now looking for a basket, 13 on the shot clock. They'll hand it back to Sydney Mason. She'll get it to Jenkins. Jenkins steps into a baseline jumper and hits it. Nice job by Whitney Jenkins. She has 15 points to lead all scorers, as Jenkins is having a great ball game. Wolverines up by 16.
Yeah, and you love that awareness because the clock is your friend here. I mean, you've got a time and you've got a lead, as you see a nice bucket there from Marlowe. But if you're the Wolverines, you want to use that clock. You don't want to take an early shot. You don't want to, you know, give the ball back into Chicago State's hand. Use that clock, take care of the ball, and, you know, convert when you have to.
Steal by Chicago State. Come away with it. Handed to Dockery. 3-pointer, no good. And Sammie Jensen has herself a rebound. That'll give herself Her 13th double-double of the season. Pretty impressive stuff, Matt.
Yeah.
As you can basically pencil in a double-double for Sammie every game. She has 14 points and 10 rebounds in this one currently. That's her season average, is 14.5 points, 10.5 rebounds. Got a timeout called by Utah Valley. Coach Nixon wants to talk things over.
Well, and we're going back to Sammie. I mean, we haven't talked much about her, but you know, like you said, James, she has that double-double. You know, she's good for that every single night. I think what's been key for UVU tonight is obviously her effort, but they've had additional efforts on top of that. You know, they've had Jenna Johnson. They've had a lot of contributions from their bench. We don't have the official statistics right here in front of us, but their bench has provided some great minutes and some great offense. You know, Whitney Jenkins has done a great job, and Alle Finch has done a great job as well. So I really like the situation that the Wolverines in. You know, I'm not trying to tell Coach Nixon what to do. If I'm in that huddle, I'm telling her, hey, clock is our friend. Let's take care of the basketball. Let's not turn it over, and let's not foul. Because those are really the three important things right here that I imagine Coach Nixon is talking about.
Ball deflected out of bounds. Nice hustle by Jackie Jones. It'll stay UVU basketball when we get back. We've got immediate timeout, so we'll step aside and take it. Wolverines on top of Chicago State, 70-56 with 3:54 to go in this one.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
I'm Patty Garcia, a geology student at UVU, and this is Engaged Learning. At UVU, I'm learning by doing.
Welcome back. UVU on top of Chicago State late in this one, 70-56. Wolverines looking to pick up the victory. Try to move to 4-2 in conference play and 12-11 overall. Utah Valley's had great outputs from Whitney Jenkins, Sammie Jensen, and Jenna Johnson. As we went to break, you're talking about the Wolverines have been looking for someone else to step up besides Sammie Jensen. They're getting it tonight as Jenkins and Johnson have stepped up. Shot no good by Finch, gets a rebound back. Won't go. A wild shot there. Looking for the foul. The Wolverines come away with it. We'll have a second chance opportunity.
Yeah, smart play there. Once again, take advantage of the clock. You don't have to force anything.
Mason looking for the lob pass to Sammie Jensen. Knocked out of bounds off of Chicago State, and the Wolverines will keep it.
Yeah, 15 seconds left on the shot clock. You know, also in these types of situations, if you do get a shot, you got to make sure that you get back in transition on defense and not allow Chicago State to get out and running. Good play run there on the out of bounds. Just wasn't able to hold on to the ball there. Was Alle Finch.
Finch drops it out of bounds. Chicago State will have it. Down by 14 with 3:22 to go. Chicago State still has a chance here if they can get themselves on a run. Get a number of stops. Close to a steal there by Whitney Jenkins. She's still playing hard. Marlowe picks it up. Back to Jones. Jones penetrates, dishes it off to Tiara Williams. 5 on the shot clock. The Cougars will have to hurry. Nice defense by the Wolverines. Gets it to Paris Williams. She'll fire up a shot. Air ball, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Marlowe had the rebound and tried to put it back, but it was after the buzzer had gone off. So a shot clock violation, the Wolverines will have it.
Yeah, that right there was the best defensive possession that the Wolverines have had tonight. You know, forcing the shot clock violation, no easy baskets. Let's see how they handle this press, because Chicago State's going to extend. They're going to go for steals. Wolverines just have to take care of the ball, make the easy pass, as they did there. A nice job running the break there from Sydney Mason and Alle Finch, but we get a turnover there from Whitney Jenkins.
Pass a little too tall for Sammie Jensen there. So Wolverines turn it back over.
I believe that's going to be 22 turnovers for UVU, so pretty unusual for them to have that many turnovers in a game.
Nice move by Docker. You can't get it to drop, though. Got a foul called. Fighting for the rebound. The foul's going to go on Casey Mansfield of UVU. Mansfield picks up her 3rd personal. That's the 10th team foul. It's going to be 2 free throws here for Chicago State. Natalie Marlowe will head to the line to shoot 2. Marlowe in the basketball game has 10 points. Second leading scorer for the Cougars in this one. First free throw rattles out for Marlowe. Still have another to come. 2:28 to go. The Wolverines holding to a 14-point advantage. Marlowe's second one's up. This one's good. So that cuts it to a 13-point UVU lead. Chicago State needs some steals here. Forced a couple of Utah Valley turnovers the last couple of possessions, but here we've got a foul called, and this one's going to be called on Natalie Marlowe. Going to put Alle Finch at the line in a 1-on-1 situation. That's 7 team fouls on Chicago State.
Yeah, you see Alle Finch get the ball here, and that's ideally if you're a defense where you want them to get the ball is kind of more in those corners as they're able to come in and trap. But what Alle did a nice job of there was not trying to split the defense, not trying to break through the trap. You just have to be strong with the ball there because those defenders are going to be swiping, they're going to be grabbing, they're going to be doing everything that they can to get that ball out of your hands.
Finch, just a 56% free throw shooter on the season. Goes 1 for 2 from the line there. Has 7 points in the basketball game. Here comes Chicago State, down by 14. Quick 3-pointer up by Marlowe. That's an air ball. Trying for the save there is Tiara Williams. They're going to say it's off of UVU, so Chicago State will keep it. Shot clock didn't get reset as it didn't draw iron, so 20 on the shot clock. 2:09 to play. Wolverines up by 14. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Finch. Finch with those long arms and long legs gets a lot of deflections. There's one of them right there. And she gets another one just as I say that, knocks it out. Marlowe lets it go out of bounds, and Chicago State will inbound one more time. And I wonder if Alle Finch heard me say that there.
I think she did. I think she just wanted to back up your point, James.
She
gets another one.
A third one, and she kind of smiles. And
well, if you're a coach, you love that. I mean, you absolutely love that because you would think that, okay, you know, I'm just guarding the inbounder. I'm not the most important defender. But when you get those 3 straight deflections like that, I mean, you're aware of what's going on the court. You're paying attention, and you love that as a coach.
Paris Williams called for the traveling violation as she shuffled her feet there, trying to go to work in the lane. So Utah Valley will have it back. We're under 2 minutes left in this one. Wolverines holding to a 14-point lead. Traveling violation on Sydney Mason. And she tried to walk through traffic there. She's called for the travel. So back-to-back traveling violations. The Cougars will get it right back. 1:51 to go. Basketball stolen by Utah Valley. Nice hustle by Whitney Jenkins. And the Wolverines come away with it.
Well, she's been so impressive tonight as far as defending, you know, on those types of deflections. You know, she's a good on-ball defender from what we've seen tonight, but incredible at getting those types of plays where she's able to deflect or get in the passing lanes and create defensive opportunities.
Jenkins almost had a beautiful assist right there, but Jensen couldn't get it to drop. Tiara Williams puts it up, and this one drops, counted, and she's fouled. Williams will head to the line and try to complete the 3-point play. It might be a little late, though, for Chicago State as they're down here by 14 with 1:16, or by 12 with 1:16 to play.
Yeah, from our angle here, I thought that was pretty good defense there from Casey Mansfield. You know, there was a little bit of contact, but I almost looks from the replay there like that was initiated from Tiara Williams. So I thought that was pretty good defense there.
Williams' free throw no good. Sammie Jensen has herself another rebound. She's already got that double-double. I think she has 12 rebounds now, 14 points and 12 rebounds. It's over a minute to play. Finch layup up and in, counted, and she's fouled. Nice job by Alle Finch. And she saw a little bit of room, took it to the basket, and scored too.
Yeah, and there was a definite foul on this as you see her taking advantage. So much space against the defense, so much space that's available there, and just stays aggressive. And most impressive part of that was, you know, being able to take on the contact and then still maintain possession of the ball and finish. That was almost like a finger roll from 10 feet out. It looked like there. That was a nice play.
Very nice play. She hits the free throw, completes the three-point play. That's 10 points for Finch in the basketball game. Roach on the floor replaced Sammie Jensen moments ago. Here's a shot up and in by Janae Dockery. Cuts it to a 13-point deficit. 50 seconds left in this one, though, so the Wolverines will look to hold on to the basketball as long as they can here. 22 on the shot clock, 42 on the game clock. Here's a kicking violation on Natalie Marlowe.
You know, what's interesting to me, James, is the difference between the men's game and the women's game. You know, in the men's game, you have that 10-second backcourt violation. You know, it's non-existent here in the women's game. It's kind of refreshing to see that you can use that space in the backcourt to your advantage, and you don't have to worry about getting that over or getting the ball across this. Going to get a travel here, but I wish the men's game would adopt something like that. That would be fun to see, where you're able to use the whole court and not forced to get the ball across here.
There you see Mason trying to split the defense, but she was caught for the traveling violation. 30 seconds left in the basketball game. Shot up from Williams won't go, and the rebound ricochets to Alle Finch. The shot clock is off. Let's see if the Wolverines will just hold the basketball here as they lead by 13 points. Wolverines on their way. A big victory here, Matt. We talked about it early in this one. This is a very pivotal game for both clubs, as they're the second and third place teams respectively in the conference.
Yeah, a big win for the Wolverines. I think it was a much needed win, and Chicago State going to be disappointed in defeat, but the Wolverines are going to be very excited, and they have to be very excited about what they did today.
So Utah Valley does a nice job in the second half and wins this basketball game by a final score of 74-61. We'll step aside and take a break and hopefully be joined by head coach Cathy Nixon here in a moment.
I never used to care about college sports. I mean, I go to a game or two, but it's mainly for social reasons, you know?
And how has green fever affected your school spirit?
I never miss a sporting event. You got NCAA baseball, softball, basketball, golf, wrestling, soccer, volleyball. I'm memorizing stats. I'm dreaming about Wolverines. I just bought a pet Wolverine. It tore my dad's favorite shoe. It was wicked awesome. No, I don't play sports. I wouldn't want to make the athletes envious. I don't mess around, man.
Bus pass, $5. UVU t-shirt so you can impress the ladies, $25. iPod Nano, $120. A degree from UVU so you can afford your own car someday. Priceless. For everything else, there's student loans.
Well, welcome back here as Utah Valley defeats Chicago State 74-61. We're joined by victorious head coach Cathy Nixon. Coach, thanks for joining us, and talk to me about your team's effort. It was a well-played game as your team comes away with a 13-point win.
Yeah, I thought our effort on the defensive end was very good. And every game just kind of has its own personality. This one was a little weird, honestly, in the first half especially. I thought our effort on the boards was probably one of the biggest differences. We out-rebounded them by 15, and it's not common that an opponent shoots twice as many free throws as another, whether you're at home or on the road. So I thought our girls kind of persevered through that well. We shot the ball well, which, whenever that last game was, on Thursday, I guess it was, that we didn't shoot the ball well, and I really challenged the kids this morning and yesterday to step up and make plays, and I felt like we did. Whitney Jenkins was awesome defensively. 21 for their team is a very, very good player. She was 2 for 12 from the field. I thought got a couple generous calls, but we held her to 11 points, and that was a real big key for us defensively.
And talk to me a little bit. You talked about Whitney Jenkins' performance, but you're always going to get close to a double-double from Sammie Jensen, but I thought offensively you had great games from Whitney Jenkins, Jenna Johnson, and Alle Finch as well.
Yeah, I agree. This was kind of a breakout game, I thought, for Jenna. She struggled a little bit shooting the ball, but she was aggressive with it. I haven't seen her look for her shot that intently for a while, and so it's great to get her back on track. And we've talked about that. We need to have playmakers on the perimeter and people who are looking for and knocking down their shots to complement Sammie in our inside game. But, it feels good to get a win. We weren't pleased at all with how things went on Thursday, and this was a really big game for us, and so I'm really proud of the kids for stepping up.
Well, thank you, Coach Nixon, for joining us.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
As UVU wins this one 74-61. Coach Nixon with her thoughts here as the Wolverines improved to 12-11 with the victory. 4-2 in conference. As Chicago State with the loss drops to 5-20 overall and 3-4 in conference play. We're taking a look here at some highlights as Utah Valley just played so well in the second half. Coach Nixon talked about it. She was very pleased with her club's defensive effort, especially Whitney Jenkins defensively, Matt, as she really thought Whitney Jenkins' defensive effort helped her ball club out here today.
Yeah, I think it was great. I mean, she did a really nice job. You see the final stats here. Wolverines 29 of 55 from the field, 33% from the three-point line. Key stat, 24 turnovers. You know, that was a large number for the Wolverines, but they were able to force Chicago State into 21. Chicago State struggled from the three-point line, 1 of 8, 13%, and 19 of 53. 36% basically for the game. So, we talked about it was going to be a pretty evenly matched game, we thought. And at halftime, it was tied 33-all. I think it was just a couple plays in the second half that swung the momentum in the favor of the Wolverines, and some individual efforts that were just outstanding. Whitney Jenkins, Jenna Johnson, Sammie Jensen, and Alle Finch. And I think they played great, and it was a good team effort and a good team win for the Wolverines.
It definitely was, and an important win, as Coach Nixon talked about. Whitney Jenkins led all scorers with 15 points. Sammie Jensen notched her 13th double-double of the year with 14 points and 12 rebounds. Behind her, Jenna Johnson had 13 points, and Alle Finch finishes with 10 points and 6 rebounds for Chicago State. 2 players finished with 12 points. That's Tiara Williams and Jackie Jones. And Natalie Marlowe and Janae Dockery finished with 11 points apiece. But a well-played game, a big win for the Wolverines, and just a well-played game in that second half, as Utah Valley was able to go ahead and win this one by 13 points. We want to thank all of you for joining us here. We want to thank everyone, all the students. This is a student-based crew that did a nice job here this afternoon running the broadcast from the digital media department here at Utah Valley University, and want to thank everyone of them for their efforts. For myself, James Warnick, and for Matt Peterson, this has been a presentation of Utah Valley University Athletics as Utah Valley wins this one 74-61 over Chicago State.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.